Hey, so today I'm going to share a quite powerful hack with you for e-commerce SEO. And what I mean here is that if you look at this image here, this is from one of our clients and how much traffic they're getting in the last 3 months from Google, just normal Google. And you can see they have over 2 million impressions and 125,000 clicks. So this is from Google search. This is the actual Google search. If you just type something into Google. And now the same client, if we change this search type from web, so from normal Google to images, that they have a similar amount of impressions, 0.26 for the web one and 2.19 million for the image one. So what this shows is that this client is getting a lot of traffic and a lot of impressions from image search as well. So this isn't really talked. I haven't heard many people talk about it, but the main point that I'm trying to make is that if you are an e-commerce store, then odds are that people are also searching for your products in the image search, not just in the main AI mode or in the all search, but they're in the image search. So this does not apply to all niches, but in many e-commerce niches, people are looking for how does the product look, and they will depend on which website they want to go to based on how the product looks. This is especially true for furniture or things where visual appearance is vital for the buyer. So furniture is like a great example. The numbers that I showed you were not from a furniture store. They were another client of ours in the fashion space. So again, the visual appearance is really important. So if something you're selling has a lot of visual importance or people are making their buying decision based on visual appearance, then you really want to show up at the top of the visual search or the image search on Google. So one easy example that I can bring is green couch. For example, someone is looking for a sofa or a couch and they think that they want a green one because they think a green sofa or green couch would fit really nicely to their living room or their bedroom, doesn't matter. So people often type in green couch and instead of going to AI mode or to all, which are the defaults, they go straight to images because they don't want to converse with Gemini here. They don't want to go to the usual blue links. They just want to see images. Because if you just go to IKEA's website, for example, and you search for green couch, you're only going to see IKEA's selection. But if you just type in green couch and you go to images, you're going to see tons of different green couches. And you can simply, it's the best selection that you could have because this will give you green couches or images of green couches across different stores. So not just IKEA, but all these different brands, Wayfair, The Spruce, Amazon, IKEA here as well, Dahl. So anyway, there's a lot of different ones. So my main point is if you are an e-commerce store and if image search is vital, or if it would make sense that people would turn to the image search, even if you don't really use it by yourself to search for products, this is usually quite important. And I'm going to show you how to rank better here. And one way to figure out, like, does it actually make sense or should you care about the image search is if you go to your Google Search Console and in the overview, like this is the main overview that you usually see. This is one of the brands that is quite seasonal and that we did a lot of tests on. So anyway, if you go to your overview and performance and you go to your full report here, and here you will see the usual Google as I showed you before from another client. But here, like, just check out how many impressions and clicks you're getting right now from your usual Google search. Just be mindful of the numbers here. So in this case, they have like almost 1 million impressions and 14,000 clicks. And if this number is a significant amount, or if this is an important amount, then you should really pay attention to it. This means that optimizing it or doing something about it is actually crucial or vital and can really help you basically make more money from your web store because most e-commerce stores do not pay attention to ranking their images. They only do the bare minimum. And I'm going to show you a few key things that will help you rank your images at the top here. But the first thing is, if you're actually going to do it, or how the way we do it for our clients is, we do a similar process, go to the Google Search Console, we look at are images even important, but we will already know this based on if we worked with the client before and based on their numbers and based on the niche as well. Sometimes it's obvious. So we go to the image search and we look at the last 3 months up to 12 months, doesn't really matter. What we are mainly interested in is what are their products or images that are getting the most amount of impressions. So this means that these phrases have the most impressions in the image search. So first thing, is image search even important? If yes, then which actual products get the most impressions or get the most people searching for or looking in the image search? Now, the next thing is how high are you ranking in the image search? If you tick the box for the average position, you're going to see where are they ranking in the image search? Start working here. So I would recommend to start from the highest impression one because this has the most people searching for. So in this example, we have 5,600 people searching for or looking in image search for Apple Watch with suit. They're basically looking for Apple Watches with suit. And if you do have a relevant image, you could show up like this brand here. They're selling Apple Watch. If you do have an image of it, then what you can do is you can optimize this image to try and rank better in the Google image search so that your image would show up higher here, like at the top or in a prominent place. By the way, you don't need to be number one in the image search because most people's attention is going to go to the center here. So you don't really need to be number one, but you should be where the eyes are going to for most people. So that's quite important. So again, first thing, figure out the most important keywords. And then the next step is to figure out which actual image is ranking the best for this search phase. So all you need to do is just click on your number one thing. So you can go one by one. This is what we also do. If you have the time, you have to do it by yourself, or give it to your team member. If not, you can hire us to do it for you as part of the usual SEO. Anyway, just click on it and look at pages and see which page is listed here. So this is this one, Apple Watch with Suit. So now you need to go to this page. You can easily open up by just clicking this button here and figure out which actual image from this page is ranking at the highest. So what you can now do is go back to queries, copy this query, go to Google image search, type this in, watch with Suit. Now find your image. Evans was the brand, so it's this one in here, ranking quite well. So in this case, I wouldn't even touch it because it's already ranking so well. I wouldn't want to do anything to it. Yeah, it's right in the middle. I don't want to touch it. But if you want to, let's say it's somewhere down below here. And of course, you can just do a quick search. Bands for your brand. I can see this one here. I can see this one here. This is ranking the highest. So I wouldn't touch this one. But you can then go to the next one. Go to the next image down the line and then work on that one. So the main point is you have to find the image. So let's say we would want to optimize this and get it ranked higher because it's like oftentimes your images are not going to be number one or not as high. This is just a good example. So let's say yours is here. You want to get it higher so that people see it. What to do then is go to the page and see where that actual image is. In this case, it's actually in the main hero image. So now if you want to edit it, or the main thing is you should do three things to the image. So open up the image, go to your website. I'm going to go to just our redbat.agency's website. And now the main things that you can do to the image are rename the image so that the image file name itself includes the main keyword. So if you want to show up for, let's say in our case, what was it? It was Apple Watch with Suit. So you want to rename the image so that this keyword is included in the image name itself. So if I wanted to rank better for green sofa, so let's say I already have an image here. I should upload it. Upload, yeah. So make sure that the image name includes green couch or green sofa. Couch and sofa are synonyms for Google. So this is great. But if you don't, let's say you already have an existing image, you want to optimize it. What I would recommend to do is just download the image, rename it, and then upload it again. Or if you can just rename it in your content management system, just rename the image so that you include the main keyword in the image name. Now, the next step is to add an alternative text or alt text. So in my CMS, I'm using just WordPress here. I can just simply add an alternative text. So the idea of the alt text is just to give a descriptive text, doesn't have to be sentences, just one sentence about what's on the image. So what I would write here is a green couch in the room. That's it. Just, it has to be a description. So think about it like if you were blind, if somebody's blind and going through the article and they have their system telling them, because they don't see the image, they can just listen to the article. And if their program is reading the image, it's reading the alt text, the alternative text. So the alternative text has to just try to explain the image in one sentence or two if needed. So that's the way to do it, but always include your main keyword in it as well. So you just don't want to add a green couch, but just like some context as well. So a green in the living room. This is near perfect. So the first thing you did, you renamed the image file name. The second thing, you added a descriptive alt text. And if you want, also you can add a caption to the image as well. So in my case, I can just hover to the image and just press on this button and add a caption. And in the caption, you can just add whatever you want to add as long as it's relevant. But oftentimes you're going to find those images on your collection pages or on your product pages. Then you might not want to add a caption because maybe it doesn't really fit in to the image. But in this case, it's a blog article. So to a blog article, it's easy to add a caption. So yeah, these are the main things. And another thing that you can do, if you haven't already, is that if you have a page like a blog article, or usually again, like your images are going to be on your product pages or your category pages, just make sure that the page is mentioning the main keyword. So green sofa in this example, in the relevant titles and also in the surrounding text of the image. And now the final step, if you've done all of this, by the way, this is usually the ABC or the 101 for image optimization. This is what's needed. And then the next step is to build actual backlinks towards that page where the image is on. So if you've done all the optimizations, if you renamed the image, if you added an alt text, if you added the caption, and you made sure that your main keyword has been mentioned, or the page does mention the main keyword in some of the important titles and also in the text, which should be normal if you are selling green couches. Odds are you already have a green couch category page. If not, you would really benefit from having a dedicated category page or a subcategory page for couches. But if you have that page, you are going to have green couches in the title, also in the text. And then if the image is also optimized for green couches, the final step that will help you rank at the top, at the absolute top, is to build links to that page where that image is on. So you don't really need to build links to the image, but you need to build links to the page just to push the page higher on Google. And if you have optimized the image itself and the page talks about the image or the same keyword, that the image is about, building links to that page will lift your image up higher on the Google image search. And if it's for a niche where image search is important, you could look it up from here to get a lot of image searches or image impressions. If it is for a niche where it's important, doing this can move the needle a lot because it's a low-hanging fruit. Most businesses will not bother to do that. So that's it. Sorry for the long ramble. I just wanted to get the point across. This is like I called it a hack because most people do not know to do this. They don't really pay attention to image search at all. I hope you'll try this out. If you have any questions, you can find my email from the description or just leave a comment. I will answer all comments. Hey, one offer that I have is that if you are running an e-commerce store and if you would like to get a free video audit from us, where we look at where are you ranking right now, who are your top competitors, and what are the gaps? What do you need to do to outrank them? And also, what are some low-hanging fruit opportunities? What would be some things that you could do to rank better ASAP? If you want that audit, go to the first link in the description, fill out the 2 or 3 questions, and me or someone from our team would record it for you and send it over. And then it's up to you if you want to hire us to help you to do the work or if you want to do the work by yourself or with your own team. So thanks again. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.